Hello, Riley. We're going to take a look at your first couple of postings for the course here. So let's get to screen sharing here. See where we are. So I have your emphasis queued up here. Now, first thing that I do is, of course, look just to basically see if you've got the basic instructional patterns right. If you've got things kind of organized in such a way that that everything kind of flows, you've got it all laid out in a way that seems logical. So as I look at it, you've got a certain distance here. And the second one, you were meant to come twice as close from there. Looks like you're about that you came up to about here. So it's you're basically doing that. It looks, however, that you just walked straight in a straight line to do that. I'm not sure if you maybe misunderstood. Looks like we're walking a straight line directly toward the building here. You did make photographs in between and circled around the building and do all of that stuff, right? The idea behind all of this is really that we are exploring. I would not have given you a week to go in front of a building, take a photograph, take 10 steps forward, take another photograph. And I mean, that would have been done. We would have just gone outside and done that for 10 minutes in class. I'm not being facetious here. I'm just clarifying to make sure that there wasn't a misunderstanding as to what the expectation was on the assignment here. I never would have wasted your time to give you an assignment and giving you an entire week to do something so simple as to make a photograph, take a few steps forward and make another photograph, take a few steps forward and make another photograph. I would never waste your time to make you do something like that. So please don't think that I would give you an assignment like that. I don't want you to ever believe that I would offer something so unuseful for you to not use. I mean, the photographs that you made individually, taking them apart, if they were just singular photographs, they have value. I mean, this photograph that you have here, this is an interesting image. I mean, this is quite beautiful. You've got the structure, you've got the repetition. When we moved into, we're doing right now, we're doing the repetition and we're doing the balance. This is an excellent photograph. You've got some other things going on here again with this sort of asymmetry going on here, where you've got the alternating rhythms that are happening here. This is really cool. This is not what we were doing for this project, though. So what we're looking for in this was exploration. We're looking to go all around. Again, if we were going to do an experiment just like this, where you just kind of kept stepping forward and moving forward on the building like that, I would have taken everybody outside with their cameras and just did that. So please clarify if you have any kind of confusion there as to, well, I wonder what he was meaning for us to do. And I will happily clarify for you so that you don't misunderstand just exactly what we're looking at doing. Also, it does appear that this was taken probably within about 5 minutes because we took a step forward, another step forward, another step forward, another step forward, another step forward, then to the side, then to the other side, and then a couple of photographs of the cement. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could be wrong. And I am not being facetious or sarcastic or anything like that. I'm concerned only because I feel like maybe there was a miscommunication as to the expectation of the time and of the focus of the project. Because this clearly, I would not have wasted your time to do a project like that. I would never do that to you. That said, we probably should have a chat, just kind of go over what your expectation was. The photographs that you've made here, these have value. They're good photographs. This is an interesting image. This is an interesting image. Yeah, this isn't such an interesting image. This is not so much an interesting image, but this is an interesting image. This is an interesting image. you're making good photographs. They're just totally not what we're trying to achieve with this project. And they certainly aren't a reflection of the amount of time and energy that you would want to invest in a project that you had 5 days to explore. So given that, we're gonna kind of maybe I want to clarify for you so that you don't have this kind of go after you again. And so you'll be able to resubmit. Don't worry, I don't want to alarm you or anything like that. I always have that kind of resubmission thing happening so that if there's ever this kind of miscommunication or misunderstanding of that, excuse me, that you'll be able to recover and just kind of make it up on the other side. You turn something in, so that's a good thing. At the very least, that's a good thing. Photography takes no less time than any other medium. It's a misunderstanding that photography, because you click and then it happens, that it's fast. It's not. The exploration of making photographs takes as much time, attention, and care as any other creative medium that there is. The difference is that it's the mechanical process kind of gives you instant feedback. But when you really think about it, so does drawing. I make a mark, I instantly get the feedback of that mark. But I don't just make a mark and then 3 marks and then walk away. I make lots of marks over a long period of time. I keep refining and I keep adjusting. Same thing with photography. Photography is no different than that. So all of the projects that we work on in the class are meant to be thoroughly explored and investigated. So let's take a look at your rule of thirds. Balance is the theme on the rule of thirds, and that is because we're trying to achieve a certain balance without there being this centralized focus. You've got this low weighted balance here, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit lower than what you would normally have for rule of thirds. You've got the birds kind of hovering over. You've got a clump right here, which might be where it is. I don't know if this is a super example of rule of thirds, but it's certainly not dead in the center, put stuff in the middle of the composition like this kind of is. This is more like what happens when we focus too much on the vertical here, where it looks like you tried to place this vertical and then the rest of it sort of wound up in the middle. You're not the only one. This is a challenge of first being introduced to the rule of thirds is you tend to look at the vertical and you're like, oh, I got the vertical there, and you take the picture and you forget, wait, I've got the horizontal also to calibrate. So you tend to get one and not the other, and then you try to figure that out. Again, that's why you make lots and lots of photographs, so that the first few that kind of don't get all the way there, then you keep practicing and you keep practicing until you do get it. This is something that you'll carry over into lots of different medium, and it is a basic principle that all image makers are going to need to know, no matter what kind of field you're going in. Got out of hand with the mouse there. You get a little bit better here and here with it. We're still a little bit more centered than we would like to be, but it's getting a little bit better as you practice. Again, just a little bit better. You're lowering that horizon line. This is definitely a lot better positioned than the other one, not in the center. You've got some elements here and some elements here that are kind of playing off of it. Here you're starting to get it, but at the same time, your horizon found its way in the middle again. So it's a challenge. It sounds so simple, right? Just put it on this line and put this on this line. But visually, it's not it's not intuitive until it becomes intuitive for you. Then once it's there, you've got it forever. It's like you don't lose it. So again, here we're a little bit too much in the center. Here we're right in the center. Is this rule of thirds? I don't think it is. Is this what you understand as rule of thirds? Because if it is, then again, we want to clarify that for you. Because if you're telling me this is rule of thirds, when I say, show me rule of thirds, and you want me to see this is rule of thirds, then we want to be on the other side of that. We want to make sure that we can clarify that for you so that we know that that's not rule of thirds. This is more rule of thirds. So you kind of put this in there, but then you show me you know what it is, but then you show me that it's not what it is. So that's where I want to make sure that there's clarity for you so that there's no ambiguity as to whether you know or you don't know I don't want you to guess. I want you to be sure. Clearly, you know where things are supposed to go. You got that set perfectly. You got the horizon set very well, but this one didn't. So anyway, this one set off fairly well. You've got the bike, you got the horizon there. Again, you're just illustrating, hey, I know where these things are supposed to go. Even here with the rock and the vertical of that candle there, the horizon then fell, which is right here, fell right in the middle again. See, it's hard. I know it's hard. It is not an easy thing to do. I'm not asking you guys to do stuff that's easy. I'm asking you to do stuff that will make you better visual communicators. And that is never easy. That's always going to be practice. And it's worth it because you'll be able to communicate things in ways that others just simply cannot. You'll be able to make things that are invisible to other people, make them perfectly clear and visible in ways that even surprise you sometimes. This is a lovely photograph with all of the color and everything, but I don't see where we're working with the rule of thirds too much here either. The middle of the photograph is right here. You've got the horizon placed there. We've got some element here, but I'm not sure that that's very strongly put together. It's a challenge, I know. It's a difficult thing to do. But keep at it, please keep at it. I see some real potential in your photography. I think we can invest a little bit more time, a lot more time in some cases with your image making, and you'll improve a lot. If you have questions and clarifying things that you need to know about the assignments, please ask me. Please send me a message and say, do you have a few minutes after class and we can talk? After our class, I don't have anything usually until much later in the evening. So you can set aside a time. We can chat about questions you have about the assignments. Especially on that Wednesday, I have nothing after that class. So you can say, hey, can I ask you a few more questions about what this project's all about so that you're crystal clear. All right. So that's what I have for you for this first time. I don't want you to panic or anything like that. We'll have plenty of time for you to do some resubmissions. If you're unhappy with the grade that you're going to get, I will tell you right away that you'll probably be a little disappointed in that first emphasis one because it's just not right where we want you to be. However, you'll be able to bring that up very easily, no problem. All right. So we'll see you in class. Bye-bye now.